You don't come. Welcome, oh. I beg, before we go begin this story, we go scatter your head. Make you do wetin? Subscribe sharp, sharp. Like the video, drop your sweet, sweet comments. No, they form. Now, beggar, they beg, oh. Okay, now, sitting well.
The music in Club Euphoria was loud enough to make the walls shake. Neon lights flashed over the crowd, painting everyone in shades of red and blue. And in the center of it all she stood. Amara. Every man looked at her. Every woman envied her. Tall, flawless skin. A face carved like a goddess. Curves that could silence a room. Amara didn't just walk. She owned every step. Her dress shimmered like gold under the lights. Her hair flowed in perfect waves, smelling faintly of expensive vanilla perfume. When she laughed, it was soft, controlled, just enough to draw people closer, never too much. Amara was the kind of woman who never paid for a drink. Men bought her champagne just for the chance to stand near her. She never said yes to anyone, not really. Flirting was her game, commitment was not. But tonight felt different. She didn't know why. There was a heaviness in the air, something she couldn't name. She sat at the VIP corner, swirling a glass of wine, when she felt someone watching her. Not the usual kind of look men gave her. This gaze was sharp. She turned her head. At the far end of the club, an old woman stood alone in the shadows. She didn't belong here. Grey scarf, wrinkled skin, eyes like storm clouds. Her lips moved slowly, as if speaking only to Amara. Amara frowned, trying to read the words. The woman started walking toward her, step by step, cutting through the crowd as if nobody else existed. When she reached the VIP table, she leaned close. Her breath smelled faintly of river water and smoke. Her voice was soft, but every word hit Amara's chest like a hammer. Be careful who touches your heart, or your skin will show your soul. Before Amara could reply, the old woman was gone. Just gone. And in the place where she had stood, the floor was wet, like she had stepped straight out of a river. Amara tried to laugh it off. Weird people always showed up in Lagos nightlife. Old woman, strange warning, wet floor. Probably some spiritual street performer. Still, she couldn't shake the image of those grey eyes. Even as she danced with her friends, the words clung to her like perfume she couldn't wash off. When she got home after 3 a.m., she dropped her heels by the door and stared at herself in the mirror. Perfect as always, she smiled. Then her smile froze. For a split second, her reflection blinked after she did. And when it did, the eyes staring back weren't hers. They were yellow, animal-like. She gasped and stepped back. Her reflection was normal again, just her. She told herself it was the champagne. She told herself it was the late hour. She told herself it was nothing. But deep down, she knew better. 2 days later, Amara met him, David. She wasn't supposed to notice him. He was just the photographer at her friend's birthday party. Quiet, focused, snapping pictures while the rest of them danced. He wore a simple black shirt, nothing flashy, but there was something in the way he looked at her. Like he was really seeing her, not just her body. When he handed her a printed photo at the end of the night, she froze. She looked different, still beautiful, but her eyes looked softer, vulnerable, human. Keep it, David said, smiling. Sometimes the camera catches more than we do. She wanted to tell him about the weird reflection. She didn't. Instead, she kept the picture in her purse. That night, for the first time in years, she thought about someone after meeting them. She thought about his smile. And when she did, her nails began to ache. It started small. Her hands shook whenever she texted him. Her skin itched at night, like something was crawling under it. One evening, while getting ready to meet David for coffee, she brushed her hair, and a chunk of it fell out. Her heart raced. In the mirror, her cheekbones seemed sharper, her lips pale. She turned her face side to side. No, she was imagining it. She still went to meet him. They talked for hours about life, about work, about dreams. She hadn't opened up to anyone like this in years. Walking home, she felt warm inside, safe. But when she closed her apartment door, a sharp pain shot through her jaw. She stumbled to the mirror. Her teeth were sharper, not in a need braces way, in a could-tear-through-flesh way. It happened a week later. David took her to a small art gallery. Quiet, beautiful. He leaned close to whisper a joke, and his arm brushed hers. Her heart stuttered, and then it began. Her vision blurred, the lights felt too bright, the sounds too sharp. She gripped the wall, fighting the urge to run. David touched her shoulder. "Amara, are you okay?" She turned her face away. Her skin was crawling, twisting, stretching. She could feel her nails growing, her jaw shifting, her bones popping into a new shape. Her breathing turned ragged. She bolted for the restroom, locking herself inside. In the mirror, a stranger stared back. Skin cracked like dry earth, eyes glowing yellow, mouth filled with jagged teeth. Her beauty was gone, replaced by something monstrous. Her phone buzzed. David's text, "I'm waiting outside. Don't rush." She stared at herself one last time before turning off the lights, and she knew this wasn't just in her head. This was the curse the old woman warned her about. Kioma was the one person Amara trusted, her best friend since secondary school, bold and loud where Amara was calm and calculated. If Amara was the queen of the night, Kioma was her fearless knight. That night, Amara called her in a panic. "I need you to come, now." Kioma didn't ask questions. She came. When she arrived at Amara's apartment, the lights were off, the curtains drawn. The air smelled faintly of metal and perfume. "Amara," she called. From the corner of the living room, something moved. Slowly, deliberately, Kioma's eyes adjusted to the darkness. Her mouth fell open. It wasn't Amara standing there. It was something else. Yellow eyes, cracked skin, jagged teeth glinting in the dim light. But the hair, the long, wavy black hair, was the same. Jesus! Kioma stumbled back, clutching her chest. The creature flinched, covering its face. Her voice came out low, rough but familiar. "It's me. It's Amara." They sat in silence for a long time. Amara in the shadows, Kioma on the couch, staring like she was trying to solve a puzzle that shouldn't exist. Finally, Kioma spoke. "What happened to you?" Amara told her everything. About the old woman at the club, the strange reflection, the changes whenever she felt close to David. Kioma didn't laugh. She didn't call her crazy. She just nodded slowly, her brows knitting together. "This sounds like a curse," Kioma said. "And if it's a curse, someone put it there for a reason." Amara swallowed hard. "But why me?" Kioma's eyes softened. "Maybe it's not about you. Maybe it's about where you come from." Note to the two. Next morning, they went back to Club Euphoria. The place looked different in daylight. Empty, quiet, like it had been drained of its magic. They asked the bartenders, the cleaners, even the bouncers if they'd seen the old woman. Most shook their heads. One young waiter hesitated, then leaned closer. "I've seen her," he whispered. "Not just here. She's always near the river." "The river?" Kioma asked. The waiter nodded. "She comes at night, sits by the water, talks to herself." Amara's stomach twisted. Something deep inside her told her this was the lead they needed. They found her on the third night. The old woman sat on a rock by the riverbank, moonlight turning the water silver. She didn't look up when they approached. "You came," she said, as if she'd been expecting them. Amara stepped forward. "Tell me what's happening to me." The woman finally looked at her. Her grey eyes were calm, but heavy, like they'd seen centuries pass. "It's not you who was chosen," she said. "It's your blood." The old woman told them everything. Years ago, Amara's mother had made a promise to a river goddess. She vowed to give her firstborn daughter to the river on her 21st birthday. But when that day came, she ran. She hid Amara. The goddess was furious. She couldn't take the child, but she could mark her. "Beauty will be your mask," the old woman said softly. "But when your heart opens, the mask will fall. The world will see what lies beneath." Amara's voice shook. "How do I break it?" The old woman's lips curved into something between a smile and a warning. "You must find someone who loves you in your true form. And never let them see the mask first." The night after meeting the old woman by the river, Amara couldn't sleep. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw those grey, piercing eyes staring back at her. The old woman's words echoed in her ears. Never let them see the mask first. What did that mean? Why did it feel like a warning rather than advice? Kioma sat cross-legged on the bed, scrolling on her phone, pretending to be relaxed. But Amara could feel her friend's eyes drifting toward her, studying her, as if waiting for her skin to crack open again. The tension between them was thick, yet Kioma didn't leave. That alone gave Amara comfort. By dawn, Amara's mind was made up. She couldn't spend her life hiding. She wouldn't let a curse control her heart. If love triggered the beast, then she had to test it. She needed to know the limits. What exactly love meant to the curse? Was it only romance or even affection, friendship, desire? Later that day, she dressed herself with care. An emerald green silk dress, her long black hair flowing like liquid. The city had always admired her beauty, but this time her steps carried a dangerous purpose. She decided to test fate on her own terms. At a rooftop lounge in Victoria Island, she sat at a corner table sipping her cocktail, eyes scanning the crowd. Men glanced her way, their gazes lingering. She could have chosen any of them, but tonight she wasn't looking for pleasure. She was looking for danger. That was when she noticed him, a man leaning casually against the balcony rail, dressed in a crisp white shirt, sleeves rolled to his elbows. His skin was smooth and dark, his jawline sharp, his presence magnetic. But it wasn't his looks that caught her. It was his calm. He looked at her once, didn't flinch, and then looked away as if she was no different from anyone else. And that unsettled her more than anything. Amara tried not to stare, but her eyes betrayed her. The man by the balcony sipped his drink slowly, as if time bent for him. Unlike the others who stole glances and whispered, he treated her presence like background noise. That irritated her more than she expected. Kioma noticed too. "That one," she whispered, leaning close. "He's not chasing you. Maybe that's why you're interested." Amara smirked, but deep down she felt exposed. She stood, her gown catching the low light, and walked toward him. Each step was deliberate, heels clicking softly against the tiled floor. The man didn't move until she was right beside him. "Most men stare," she said, her voice smooth but carrying an edge. "You didn't." He turned his head, met her eyes briefly, then looked back at the city skyline. I don't stare at things I can't have." The words cut sharper than a blade. Amara's smile faltered. She wasn't used to being dismissed. "What makes you think you can't have me?" she asked, her voice lower now. Finally, he faced her fully. His eyes were deep, unreadable. "Because you don't belong to anyone, not even yourself." For the first time in years, Amara felt seen, completely seen, and it terrified her. That night, back at her apartment, Amara couldn't shake his words. "You don't belong to anyone." Who was he to speak with such certainty? And yet the truth of it stung. Kioma teased her mercilessly. So the queen finally found someone who can't be conquered. Amara rolled her eyes but stayed quiet. The truth was, the moment their eyes locked on the balcony, her chest had burned with a strange warmth. It wasn't lust, wasn't pride, it was something deeper, something dangerous. As she sat before her mirror, brushing her long black hair, she froze. Her reflection shimmered. For a brief second, the cracks appeared. Thin lines stretching across her flawless skin, glowing faintly gold before fading again. Her hand trembled. The curse was stirring. The next evening, Amara returned to the rooftop lounge. She didn't know why, only that she had to see him again. The crowd buzzed, the music thumped, but she felt like she was moving through smoke. And then she saw him. Same spot, same posture, as if he hadn't moved since last night. White shirt again, sleeves rolled, eyes lost in the city lights. She approached, but this time he spoke first. "You came back." "Maybe I was curious," she replied, tilting her head. "Curiosity," he said softly, "is how curses spread." Her breath caught. His words weren't casual. They were deliberate, almost like he knew. Before she could speak, the lights in the lounge flickered. The music stuttered. People glanced around nervously, but Amara's body tensed for another reason. The familiar heat crawled under her skin, her pulse racing. She wasn't safe here. Not now. "Go home," he said firmly, his voice low but commanding. "Before it shows," her eyes widened. "Before it shows. Who was this man?" Amara didn't go home. She stayed, watched him. Every word he spoke pulled her deeper, like gravity. Finally, she demanded, "Who are you?" He hesitated, then said, "Oba."